Thank you, folks. We have an amazing Q&A, folks, so please stay seated. November 22nd, this is everywhere on Disney+. Please, first of all, taking a seat already is Mr. Lawrence Carter Long to moderate this conversation. I'm going to invite Peter Saraf, the producer. You've already met Amber Sealey, the director. Amber, welcome back. What an amazing cast. Please welcome Rosemarie DeWitt. Rosemarie, thank you so much. And finally, please give a big, big applause to Phoebe-Rae Taylor. Over to you.
Thank you. Come in the middle. You don't want to? Oh, sorry.
I'll be doing my part with interpretive dance.
You too.
Oh, thanks.
Phoebe, how do you feel about taking your place center stage? Have a gap there. Thank you. So, hello everybody. What did you think? So, Isaac made a little note at the beginning saying that I'm not impartial. And that's true, because I was fortunate enough to be one of many, many, many advisors on this fantastic film that you just saw. So, Peter, Amber, here we are.
Here we are.
This is real. I think I want to start, Peter, with you. Movies don't happen without producers.
Thank you for saying that.
So, tell us a little bit about your origin story and what got you into this film. Now, you've been kind of on the periphery of ReelAbilities for a while. You lived in the same building, live in the same building currently with Anita Altman.
I do, yeah. Anita Altman, who's right there. We've lived in the same building for 30 years now.
Yeah. So talk about what finally brought you into the middle of the orbit here.
But before I do that, can I just, there's so many people who worked on the movie and are in the movie who are here. I just want to call out a few people who are here. Noah, our DP, is here. I saw Jacob, our editor, Tim, our editor. Cristiano, who plays Willie, is here. Where is Cristiano? Oh, up here. Woo! Cristiano. Who else is here?
Talia?
Oh, Talia is here, our art director. I saw Buck, our assistant editor, who's also the voice of the announcer at the Whiz Kids.
Yeah.
Eddie Rubin, our producer, who's also the security guard. There are just so many people who are here.
So many people. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's so great to have all of you here, and also you are the best audience ever. So the origin story of this, of how I came to this story is, so the book, there's a wonderful novel by Sharon Draper called Out of My Mind. And so my kids went to a school here in New York City called Manhattan School for Children. Maybe some of you know it. It's here on the Upper West Side. It's the first public school in New York City that had inclusive classrooms with kids of all kinds of abilities in the classroom. My kids went there, and in the 4th grade, my daughter read Sharon's novel and pitched it to me and said she thought it would make a great movie.
So the pitch meeting came from your daughter?
My daughter, when she was 10, she said, you should turn this into a movie. And she was right. And it was the book that sort of, she fell in love with this book. It's what made her want to become a writer. And it took a long time to get the movie made, even though it's based on a novel that has sold millions of copies, that's on the curriculum of so many great schools to this day. 12 years later, it's millions of kids have read this book. It's very popular, but it was very hard to convince people that this could be a popular movie as well until we got the Disney company on board, which was fantastic. They've been incredibly supportive. As was said earlier, to have Disney behind this, it'll just give it this huge reach. So it was amazing to get to Disney, but it took a long time. And to tell you how, so my daughter pitched it to me in 4th grade. The day after we wrapped photography, I dropped her off for her first day of college.
So it takes a while, right?
It took a little while.
So what were some of the obstacles, or what was some of the pushback that you got?
It was just hard to get financing for a movie. I think the thing that I've learned from making this movie, and I've learned from this story and from so many things, is it's so. I think we all. It's so easy. The default is to avoid people who maybe move differently or speak differently or look differently than you, or it's very easy to be judgmental of people like that or to be scared of them, and that it takes a little patience and it takes a little bit of curiosity. And it pays off in a big way to just accept people into your life. And I think, but convincing people that story is worth telling is a little bit challenging.
Right, and people sort of they paint disability in monochrome colors, right? It's tragic or heroic.
Exactly.
The nuance in the middle there, most people live somewhere in the messy middle, but that's not often what you see on screen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So breaking through that.
Exactly.
Yeah. So thank you, Rosemarie. I want to talk to you a little bit about that messy middle, if we can. Parents can be our greatest champions. They can sometimes get in the way, right?
Yeah.
Both things can be true at the same time.
Yeah.
Talk about what drew you toward this role, and what you learned as a result. How did it surprise you?
Yeah, in so many ways. Well, Amber brought me the script, and she showed me. I mean, Phoebe just found out about this, and I think she was a little pissed off. But Amber had shown me, they did like a worldwide talent search, and Phoebe was cast when she was 10 years old. And then it took a couple years for it all to come together. And Amber,
We had this pandemic thing that was happening.
well, yeah, that happened too, right? Yeah. And she showed me Phoebe. Like, she showed me when she was able to offer her the part. And I was just like, who is that beautiful? Like, this ray of light just burst through my computer screen. And I knew, like, you just kind of see someone's essence. And so then it all made sense. I'm like, the beautiful script. My kids weren't the age yet to, they hadn't arrived in 5th grade yet. Although now every 6th grader in my daughter's class is like, oh my God, you get to play the mom in this book. And they're so stoked. I was drawn to all the things that I didn't know.
For example?
I realized, I say this sort of with embarrassment, that, I have mom friends who are parenting kids with disabilities, and I think I was always too scared to ask them about the intricacies of their lives. It brought us closer as moms, and then I liked the flaws. Like, I liked that she wasn't sort of the mom who gets it. I like that I related to it. I feel like I'm always going to my kids after the fact and saying, "Can we talk? I'm sorry. Or I got this wrong." As a mom, I feel like I really learned about the ways in which we can be taught by our children, and about the ways in trying to protect them. Sometimes we thwart them and hurt them. But I think as a human being, I just learned so much about slowing down, about, like, if you ask a question, actually wait for the answer. We were doing a panel, the 3 of us last night, and Phoebe was on fire, so I can't wait for you to ask her questions. And I know the audience could feel, if we didn't wait for the time it took to get the answer out, we would miss everything. We would miss out on this, like, amazing, cool, young, gorgeous, brave, vulnerable, transparent actress. I don't want to talk anymore, so that's the only thing I'm going to say all night. Now please talk to Phoebe.
Thank you. I want to, I think, kind of hand this off to you to kind of set us up here, Amber, and I'll come back to you in a moment. What was it? Yeah, I'm going there. Watch. Trust me. When Sharon Draper saw the audition, Phoebe's audition, what did she say?
She said, cast her before she gets too old.
Right. And which proved to be true, right? And we're all glad that you did. So, Phoebe, you're from Essex, right? You're British?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. And so, and you had never acted before. So, we watched this incredible performance. Bravo to you. And so I'm curious, now that you've done the role, you've seen it on screen, you've shared it with an audience, you were on Good Morning America just yesterday. And as somebody who's done media for 20 years, you're a natural, right? So I'm glad they grabbed you. And I'm glad you're here. What is this like for you?
It is insane. It is mental. I have no idea how I've got here or why I've got here. But I absolutely love it. I love doing this. I love spreading such an important message that so many people around the world should hear. It means so much to me.
And yes. So if you were to distill that message down to its essence, to its core, what is it?
I just want people all around the world to know that kids, adults with all disabilities, even though we may look different or sound different, we just want to be we just want to be treated the exact same as you.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think the film shows that beautifully, right? You may succeed, you might fail, could be somewhere in the middle, but everyone deserves the opportunity to try, right? And so now that you've done this, like what are you hoping, if audiences take away that message, what do you want them to do with it?
Don't judge. That is in the most simplest terms I can put it. I think people are too quick to judge on what they see, and I just want people to be more aware and not judge someone on how they look, and to get to know that person and what they like, what they don't like. Don't just assume just because they have a disability that they're any less than you are.
Fantastic. Thank you. Amber, all of this is realized, right? It's kind of filtered through the director. As somebody who has done a lot of work in media my entire life, you got so much right. The nuances, right? We talked about the messy middle before. Talk about the steps that you took, the care and feeding of this project to get those aspects right. What did you do?
Well, I think it was what I think the message of the film was, which was just really listen. We had so many amazing consultants, you being one of them, Phoebe being another, the True Frosts right here being others, Leo. And I feel like we have others that I'm forgetting in the room, but we had so many wonderful people who opened their homes and their hearts and their lives to us so that we could make the story as authentic as we could. Another thing that I remember, I think it was in Demystifying Disability by Emily Ladau. I think it has the quote in there that says, one person with a disability is just that, one person with a disability. And so in the making of this film, we were not trying to speak for all people with a disability or all people with cerebral palsy. We were speaking for this one character of Melody. And so we wanted to make her as authentic as we could to who she was, and we're taking the heart from who she was from the book, and so we had so many wonderful places to pull from to create this character that was both wholly unique and very specific, but also we hope that in that sort of specificity and genuinely being based on authentic truths for that person, that it would also come to be very universal. I mean, one thing that was really important to me about Melody was that. She's a tween just like any other tween. She has hopes and dreams and anxieties and crushes and, just like any other tween. And, I felt like she's just like us, and so that was a really important part of creating who that was. But it was all, all of us here we put drops into the cup that became our Melody Brooks.
Yeah. And there were elements, everything that's adapted from a book or a screenplay, right, gets its own, you like you said, you kind of infuse it with the people who are involved. Can you talk about some of those things that were inspired by your own life, by Phoebe's life, the things that you wove in from the people involved to really make that point?
Well, one of the things that I love the most is the friends thing. So that actually came from Phoebe's real life. She is named Phoebe after the character Phoebe Buffay. So her mother, who is over there, is Frankie, a big lover of Friends, and gave that. Was it genetically, or however you gave that love of Friends to your children? I mean, we all love Friends. Let's be honest. But so Phoebe, when we were when we were doing our casting process and we were narrowing it down to this amazing human next to me, we were zooming a lot, and behind her she had the purple door with the yellow frame, and I said, "Do you like Friends?" And she goes, "Oh yeah," and then and I was like, I love it too, and my daughter loves it too, and she told me how she was named after Phoebe Buffay. And at the same time, concurrently, while we were doing casting, there's a phase of development in the script where you're working with the writer and, kind of adapting the script to the story that how exactly you want to tell it as a director. And so we were figuring out, with myself, Daniel Stiepelman, the writer, and the producers, we were figuring out, what is this voice in her head, in Melody's head, that she's going to have.
And for those who haven't read the book, there are multiple different voices.
In the book, there are. It's more
It's
of an
her point of
obsession
view,
with
but she's
music
imagining.
and color. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the different voices thing came more from Daniel Stiepelman, the screenwriter. But we had gone through a lot of different ideas, and when the Friends thing came, it was like, oh my God, it should be Jennifer Aniston. And we thought, well, if she says no, we can just ask all the other friends. But miraculously, Jen said yes right away. And I like to say, because I'm like, Phoebe, you're starring in a huge film. And she goes, I don't care. I just want to meet Jennifer Aniston.
So has that happened yet?
Not yet, but it will. But she's had some special DMs. They're DMing on
They're
Instagram.
DMing, all right. So it's in process. Yeah.
Hopefully, Jen, if you're out there,
All right. If
we're
you're
ready.
listening, yeah. And your own life. There were elements of your own life that you.
Oh, that you're talking about the diary stuff.
Yeah.
So that was another thing, and this is also big credit to Jacob Craycroft, our first editor, and the editor, but Tim also was very helpful. But in terms of coming up with the voiceover. That was something that I pulled from my own diaries when I was like 10, 12, 13. I used to make lists a lot. And then my daughter, who at the time was 12, was making a lot of lists. And so then I just sort of borrowed that. I was like, well, Melody makes lists. And so that was where that came from.
And that was a nice way to kind of structure it, right? Bring it all together. Right? What I love about this are those nuances where you recognize, there are things that are specific to Melody's experience, but they're also things that are universal, and so you get to know the character, the specifics of the character. But in context of the larger world. Yeah, and I'm curious for anybody involved, what was access like on the set? You know, one of the things we always hear is it going to be too difficult? It's going to be too expensive. It's going to be too this. It's going to be too that. Talk a little bit about the steps you took and what that process was like.
Well, I think you should answer this, Peter, because but we were fully accessible and it was wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we decided from the beginning that we needed to make the set accessible. There's a new position that's starting to become more prevalent in film and television, which is an accessibility coordinator, which is somebody whose job it is to make sure that the sets and all of the offices and all the facilities and all the transportation and everything is accessible to people of all kinds of abilities, and to make sure that stories are being told in ways that take into account different kinds of abilities. And so we decided on this film because our main character uses a wheelchair. Obviously, that's part of the story, and a lot of the kids who were in the classroom had all kinds of different kinds of disabilities. So you
had the stage manager, right?
Yeah, and the stage manager who uses a wheelchair. We put together what we called our all access team. It was a team of people whose responsibility it was to make sure that everything that was part of the process of making this movie was accessible on every level.
And can you just to outline for people who might have some difficulty imagining what that is? What does that mean? What does that look like in practice?
Well, in practice, it meant that when we were scouting locations, there would always be somebody there who knew how to look for not just ramps, but the doorways that are wide enough and don't have thresholds that people can't get over, or that bathrooms are accessible, or that we found when you're on a movie set, you often don't have. We're on location. We don't have dressing rooms, so we bring trailers. We found a trailer that had wheelchair access that Phoebe could use. So it was all of that. We made sure that there were rooms for everybody to take breaks in. So all of that.
Yeah, and those were things that not only benefited you, Phoebe, but benefited the entire cast and crew.
The entire crew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's important, right? You embed access, everybody benefits.
Absolutely, everybody benefited, and it really wasn't. It wasn't expensive. It wasn't something that was difficult to do. It was very easy with just a little bit of effort to incorporate that into the process.
And it made the process better.
Oh, absolutely. It made the
So
entire
just say that again. Just say that one
It
more time.
made the process so much better for everybody. And we'll do it on every movie. It doesn't, even if it's not about the story, there's no reason that you shouldn't create accessibility in every work environment. So why not on every movie?
I'm into that. And having done been on your side of things a time or two in doing panels, I'm curious, is there anything that has occurred to any of you that didn't come up when I gave you your official turn that you want to say before we turn this over to your audience? Any closing thoughts you want to leave people with? No?
I want to hear what the
Going once.
audience
All
has
right.
questions.
It's your audience. All right. Please show your hands. Somebody will come to you with a microphone, and then you can ask your question. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. First off, my name is Emily. I have cerebral palsy. I have spastic hemiplegia. And I just wanted to thank all of you for your hard work on this film, because for so long I've never seen myself in people who are inspiring, like role models and things like that. I can remember the only person I ever saw was my high school Spanish teacher. So I just really appreciate you sharing lots of themes that I can relate to. Even though I'm not in a wheelchair, I still feel like I can relate to Melody and to the role that Phoebe portrayed on screen. And I also appreciate seeing Rosemarie play the mom, just because I am with my mother to the right of me, and I just appreciate everything she's done for me. And it's really important to get that right as well when it comes to sharing the parent's journey and how they handle having a child with a disability. So I just wanted to thank you, and I look forward to being a part of ReelAbilities in the future and doing more advocacy work. And hopefully I can take a picture with you, Phoebe, and Rosemarie, if possible, later, just to say thank you. And I'm so grateful that this has finally came into my life and everything. So I appreciate it so much.
Thank you. Other questions?
I got
Here in
one
the
right
front?
here.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
No.
Christine, first you.
First, I just want to say thank you to Phoebe and everyone. This was really incredible. I wish that a film like this was around when I was your age. I think a lot of us probably in this room feel that way. I will say I am quite a bit older than you. I've been a professional actor with cerebral palsy for a very long time. I have known Rosemarie for a very long time, and I'm so thrilled because you all got so much of this right. And as a person who advocates specifically for performers with disabilities every day, in addition to doing my own acting work, I'd love to hear from you, Phoebe, what since this is your first project, what are some things that you learned about being on set and working with your amazing colleagues? And would you do it again? And do you want to do it again? I guess I'm asking, has the acting bug bit you?
Yeah, yes, it has. I was so nervous because I had never acted before. So I remember I was so nervous, it's untrue. But as soon as I got onto set, and met all of these lovely people, and all of that went away because these people are the nicest people I have ever met in my life. And like, as someone who hasn't always been treated nicely in my life, it was so different to me. And they made this experience so much better. And I love acting now. So yeah.
Was there another question up front? Yes.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Questions, comments. Number one, I wish you had Kleenex, boxes and boxes and boxes of Kleenex, because I was back here, sobbing. Number one, amazing, Phoebe, producers, actors, Phoebe, amazing. But I'm a Friends fan too. But guess what? I love your voice more. You have the beautiful accent from the British accent, and I love Jennifer Aniston too, but I prefer your voice as well. And also, I work with Jessica, and she also wants a picture with you. So thank you so much.
So we're going to line up out front when the Q&A is over. Let's see. Others. I will.
We have a question up there.
Where?
Thanks.
Sorry, I can't see.
Top right.
Top. Okay.
They're raising
well,
their hands.
I'll make a point while the mic is making its way up there. It's clear that you all love this film. If you want to see more films like this, do yourselves, do the industry, do everyone here a favor, okay? Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your neighbors. Get Disney Plus. Get a free trial if you have to. Watch the thing. Watch it again. Watch it a third time, right? The bean counters and the algorithms are going to pay attention.
Leave it on play and just like go to work all day.
Yeah.
Just keep playing it.
Over and over again.
Yeah, do please. And, I think it's Thursday at midnight, or it's Friday. This Friday.
22nd, yeah.
It premieres, and then it's there. It's there for as long as people
Yeah,
watch
and
it.
once
Yeah,
you
you
watch
watch
it, you
it,
know
you
you're
watch
going to
it.
want to watch it again and again and again. I will let you know, for those who aren't aware, that there have been sequels to the book, which means there are other stories of melodies to be told. So if you want those stories to be told as well, if you want to see the story continue, your greatest chance is to watch this one a lot. Okay?
We already have a script for the second one, Out of My Heart, Melody Goes to Camp.
Yeah.
If you want to see that, watch
Melody
this one.
goes to camp, right? And we all know what happens at summer camp. So, maybe some of those questions that were posed in this first film will be answered.
Disneyfied.
And I'll just say, after you're finished watching it many, many, many times, you could check out more films like this on ReelAbilities stream, another fantastic streaming site that's much smaller than Disney Plus, and also could use your support.
But we're going to get there with your support. Yes, so
We have a
here.
question up here.
Thank you so much. My name is Adam. I love this movie so much, and your performances were great. The directing was great. I apologize. I'm still crying. I've known Lawrence for 17 years, and I've been blind my whole. I don't cry at movies. I don't cry at disability, and we love humor. We love to laugh. In this movie, I cried from beginning to end. Never because I was sad.
Right.
Not at all because I was sad, because I recognized truth. And it resonated with me, and I thought, it's okay to cry, I guess. If it's not, I'm sorry.
Totally okay.
But yeah,
So,
I mean,
you get the seal of approval here. So,
I mean, the father yelling, I'm like, oh, that's me. I yell at my kids all the time. I was a kid in school, 12 years old, disability. Kids were mean to me. Wow, you did such a great job. Such a great job. Showing the chaos in the family every day. There can be love, but there can also be frustration. I applaud you from the bottom of my heart. That's all. Thank you.
And that's real life. Thank you. Yeah, I was sitting back here with my friend Simi Linton, and everybody who knows me knows that something hits me in a movie, there go the waterworks, right? And yeah, Christine can tell you that too. And I held off. I saw a rough cut earlier before Jennifer actually did the voiceover. Like I know her, Jennifer Aniston did the voiceover.
We can call her Jen.
Jennifer,
Just
Jen,
call her
okay.
Jen.
But I held off seeing the film because I wanted to see it with an audience, and I wanted to have that experience, and got choked up in the same places all over again, but for the right reasons, because they got it right. And because I could identify with that, and I felt that, and I understood that, and I lived that. I've never been a 12-year-old girl, but there were so many different things that I could say, yeah, I know what that's like. I know what that's like. I know it's like. So getting those details right were just so fantastic, and I hope that there's more from this team. I hope that there's more from this story. Please, again, support the movie everywhere that you can. Support organizations like ReelAbilities, because I need the job, and get the word out among your friends, your neighbors, your community. Let them know that these films exist and that they can watch them. Isaac.
Thank you. And I'll share, this is not for just the disability experience. Everyone relates to this human experience and to good writing and to amazing acting. I want to thank you all for being here and bringing this to us.
Thank you.